Hi, my name is Sierra Anderson, and I am going to teach you guys about RAP today. Before I get into what RAP stands for and what it includes, I would like to share a little bit about my story. So my story started when I was about 13 years old. And during that time, my mom and dad had got a divorce, and I ended up having to grow up at a very early age. My mom tried to take her own life 5 years in a row, resulting in me spending several Thanksgivings and holidays inside the institutions with her. During this time frame of me taking care of her, again, I was having to grow up at such an early age. I was going through things that I didn't know how to handle on my own, so I was having to teach myself things, and I started experiencing my first little bit of mental health symptoms, but because I was going through that, I was too scared to tell anybody because I wanted to make sure that my mom was okay, and I didn't want anybody to try to remove me from her, nor did I want to trigger her and be the reason why something actually happened. So during that time frame, the symptoms that I started to experience included me pulling my hair out, which is trichotillomania. I would have bouts of depression and anger, but then I found myself starting to use different techniques to do self-harm. And during that time, I also started to experiment with drugs and alcohol, which did turn into a history of substance use. I was in and out of abusive relationships. The abuse originally started with my father, and it just continued to go on with relationships that I involved myself in. And mind you, again, all during this is me trying to learn who I am, and I didn't tell people about it because, again, I was too scared. In that time frame, I ended up finally coming out and asking for help, and finally was able to seek help and see what I was diagnosed with. And I ended up being diagnosed with bipolar, DID, anxiety, and later on turned into PTSD. I ended up in between all this, had got sexually assaulted by somebody that I knew, which turned into me using substances even more, got heavier, and found myself again in multiple abusive relationships. As time went on, I ended up finding myself. This is where I ended up finding hope and wanted to better myself and just be a better person, because the route that I was going in was not getting me anywhere. And so I had to get myself on the right page, and I knew the only thing that was going to be able to do that is just if I held on to hope. So during this phase of me bettering myself, I became sober. I'll be 10 years sober this month, actually. I'm a CPRS. I have a beautiful son. I have my own house, my own car, and I am successful in what I do. So because I held on to hope and didn't give up, and I didn't let what I went through destroy me, instead I continued to keep going, I am where I am today, and I'm so proud of who I am today. So that leads me into RAP. The time that I was working on me is whenever I was introduced in RAP. I was actually introduced in RAP in 2012. This is where I built my very first RAP plan, and while I was doing that, I was able to identify triggers that I did not realize that I was actually experiencing. I was able to identify why I was experiencing certain things, who was in my support system, who should not be in my support system, what was helping and what was not helping. But I was really able to identify when I'm well versus when I'm not well. And with that, that's what has kept me well today, because anytime that I keep looking at it and look at my wellness tools and my daily maintenance plan, but in the meantime, when I'm looking at that, I'm able to go ahead and find if I'm not doing well because I'm not noticing some of the things on there. So I have to start working on myself to be able to prevent a crisis from arising. I have an amazing support system now who can also be with me through that as well. So WRAP, I keep mentioning WRAP, but I have yet to tell you what it is. So WRAP stands for Wellness Recovery Action Plan. It was developed by Mary Ellen Copeland. She originally, she had developed this over the story of her mom, Kate. She actually has a story that's out in part of WRAP that you will find. It's called the Story of Hope, excuse me. And that actually tells you the story of her mom and what led her to do what she's doing now. So WRAP is a prevention and wellness process that anyone can use to get well, stay well, and make their life more the way that they want it through a series of tools and action plans. This is the process for anyone who wants to make positive changes in the way that they feel and the way that they react to life. So WRAP is designed to decrease and prevent unwanted or troubling feelings and behaviors, increase the personal choices we make about how we live our lives, improve quality of life, and help us achieve our life goals and dreams. So in WRAP is founded by 5 key recovery concepts that many of us around the world have described as a key to our recovery. So the 5 key recovery concepts include hope, personal responsibility, education, self-advocacy, and support. So we'll take a closer look at each one of these concepts, starting with hope. Many of us have dealt with challenges, often that having a purpose is the first step towards success. Developing a purpose involves finding and holding on to some type of hope. So hope to me, as I shared in my story, is the reason why I am here and why I did not give up, because I was able, as long as I held on to hope, I was able to get through all the obstacles of my recovery, which led me here today. My life motto actually goes around hope. It's the acronym for hope. It means hold on, pain ends, because no matter what you are going through in life, as long as you continue to hold on to that hope and you don't give up, that pain will eventually end. And it'll make you stronger after each time that you go through something. As long as you don't give up and continue to hold on to hope, you'll continue to get stronger and stronger. So the next key recovery concept is personal responsibility. So taking personal responsibility does not mean holding on to blame, shame, guilt, or self-criticism. It means looking at how you can be accountable for your choices. Personal responsibility to me means being in charge of my own recovery and being able to admit when I'm wrong and learning from my mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life and I continue to learn by them, and I'm okay with me making mistakes because each time I'm able to learn. I used to not take personal responsibility, and it's so easy to blame others for your mistakes. But when I started to take personal responsibility, that actually helped me build confidence and feel better about myself, but it also made me want to learn from my mistakes and admit when I was doing wrong. The third recovery concept is education. So education is not so much about textbooks, learning, as it is about the process of self-discovery. Self-discovery can help you achieve a sense of balance, and having a balanced view of yourself can give you a better idea of who you really are. So education to me means more than reading a book. I'll learn every day from other people's shared experiences and stories. The beauty of your recovery is that every story is different, so they're never the same, so you continue to learn from others. I had actually heard not too long ago a new acronym for HOPE, and that stood for hearing other people's experiences. And that acronym really stood out to me because that's something that I thrive on, is being able to hear what other people have went through so I can continue to learn from them, but also so I can share my story in return so we can share those similar experiences and we can help each other. The fourth key recovery concept is self-advocacy. Self-advocacy can make you become a strong advocate for yourself. This means that what you get is what you need with courage, persistence, and determination. So advocacy for me means that standing up for myself and what I believe in, knowing that it's okay to say no. For the longest time, I was unable to say no, and is my favorite word now because I'm able to express how I feel, and it's okay to do that. I love advocating for myself, absolutely love it, but what I love even more is teaching others how to advocate for themselves as well, because it's very powerful whenever you can stand up for what you believe in. The fifth key recovery concept is support. So support from family, friends, and community and service providers is very important. People feel better when they have effective support. A circle of support helps enriches one's life. Support to me is having someone that is there for me just to listen without judgment. Someone who accepts me from where I'm at my worst and helps pushes me through without giving up on me. Giving up on me is a huge thing. So if somebody is going to be able to accept me whenever I'm not well and they're still with me, then that's the support person that I need. I always want somebody who's going to be positive. I don't want to have somebody who's being negative and putting that negativity when I'm already not in a good place. My main support system is my mom. Me and my mom has went through thick and thin together, and so she understands where I'm coming from her lived experience as well. Me and hers went through more things than anybody that I've ever went through in my life. So that's my support system, and she's the one who's always there for me. So the next part of the wrap is the wellness toolbox. The wellness toolbox is the foundation for the rest of your wrap. You will use this list to build the action plans in each section of your wrap. You can add and take away at any time. It's important to have more than just one wellness toolbox one wellness tool in your toolbox, because you might find yourself in a situation where you can't use that one wellness tool that you've listed. So for instance, mine is driving and listening to music. It's a huge thing for me that helps me. But if I rode with my mom to the store and I get triggered while I'm in the store, well, I can't use that tool because I don't have my car. So having a backup plan and several wellness tools that you can choose from is something that I like to share with others on having the most that they can. So some of my wellness tools that I have listed is my son. He's the most important thing to me. Driving and listening to music, helping others, doing puzzles, word searches, sharing my story. That's something I absolutely love to do. Working. I know some people wouldn't think that working is a good one for them, but I love it because I love what I do with supporting others and being a peer supporter. Painting canvases, talking to my mom, journaling, and doing positive affirmations. Positive affirmations is something that really got me through my hardest times. So the next part I'd like to go over is the daily maintenance plan. So the daily maintenance plan is the next part of wrap. First, you developed your wellness toolbox, and now you're going to make a simple plan to put these tools into action in your daily life. It's a daily structure that helps you make sure you're taking the best care of your wellness and dealing with the important responsibilities every day. So there's 3 parts to the wellness toolbox. The first one is what I look like when I'm well. So this is what you're like at your best. Some characteristics that describe you when you're doing well. So, for example, some of mine, I'm positive, I'm a super positive person. I'm a hard worker, I'm energetic, I'm outgoing, I love to talk, I'm responsible, I always have my makeup on, I'm supportive and motivated. Those are just a few things that describe me when I'm well and that normally people see of me. The second part of the daily maintenance plan is things I need to do every day to stay well. So these are things that you need to do on a daily basis to make sure that you are staying well. So these are things that you would do every day. So for me, a shower is a huge thing for me. I have to have a shower. So I have to take a shower every day for me to stay well. I have to take my medications. I play with my son. Work, I know it's not every day, but again, like I shared earlier, that's a huge thing for me. And then talk to my mom. Every single day I talk to my mom. And those are things that I need to do every day. So it can look different for everybody. So that's what works for me, to help me stay on track and stay well. So the third part of the daily maintenance plan is things I might choose to do to stay well. So these are things that you wouldn't do every day necessarily. These are going to be the things that you might do, let's just say maybe once a week or maybe once a month, or just something that you just want to do for fun every now and then. So you don't have to do this every single day, but this is something that you know that you could do if you needed to get yourself back on track, or you know that it brings joy, it brings that happiness to you to keep you to stay well. So for instance, mine, I love to get my nails done. That's one thing that I might do. Go to the doctor, because I won't be able to have my medications if I don't go to the doctor and go to see them regularly. And then another thing that me and my son do is we get season passes to a local theme park. And so me and him will go every other weekend, and that's just something me and him like to do, and seeing a smile on his face makes me happy and just makes everything so worth it. So the next part we're going to talk about is stressors. Stressors are external events and circumstances that may make you feel uncomfortable. So stressors are things that happen that can cause a reaction, such as reminders of specific events, anniversaries of losses, or personal interactions or situations that makes us feel scared, helpless, or out of control. So some of my stressors, just to mention a few of them, is accusations, being ignored, and then financial instability. So those are a few that would bring uncomfortable feelings to me, that would make it cause a stressor for me. So with a stressor comes an action plan. So there's two parts of that. You have the stressor and the action plan, because when you get stressed, what are you going to do now? How can you prevent it from moving forward? So now that you started this list of stressors, that's the way you make you feel upset or comfortable. You make an action plan for when you will respond. You may find that using some of your wellness tools to be helpful in your action plan. So for example, some of mine, talking to my mom, playing with my son, going for a walk, driving, listening to music, positive affirmations, and just stepping away from the situation. So the next part would be internal warning signs. Now these are internal feelings. The stressors are external that causes the internal feelings, but the early warning signs is what's happening internally. So one way to think about an early warning sign is that these are changes in the way you think, act, or even feel. They may seem to come out of the blue, unrelated to specific events, experiences, or stressors. They are signs that you need to take action before things get worse. So some of my early warning signs, impulsive spending. Normally when I start getting irresponsible with my spending, that's normally a first early warning sign for me. Being quiet, because I'm not a quiet person. Starting to be irresponsible with just anything daily, whether it be work, whether it be just my bills, anything. I just start slacking on the responsibility. And not doing my makeup. It's a huge thing for me. If you don't see me with makeup, you should probably ask me if I'm okay. Just like with stressors, early warning signs also have an action plan. So once you know what your early warning signs look like, you can make a plan for how you'll respond. Having plans gives you more choices, so you don't have to react on impulse. So some of my action plans for this is to call my mom, journal, because normally if I journal, I can kind of figure out what's going on and kind of get it right back in track, and do my positive affirmations. So the next part are when things are breaking down. So when things are breaking down, you begin to feel even worse. Often your behavior changes so much that other people can tell something is wrong, and the situation might develop slowly, or it can happen suddenly. Take immediate action can make a difference in the outcome. So some of my examples is not showering. That's a huge thing. I'm starting to crave to use substances again, isolating, ignoring people, and having anger outbursts. So to prevent a crisis, you need to take immediate action, intense, structured, and direct action. That means that your action plan needs to be very specific, with few options than other plans, and move things that you must do to prevent a crisis. So my main action plan is, because my mom is we talk every single day. If I start ignoring her, I start lashing out. She has a key to my house, and so it's one other person. They come unannounced and just sit there with me until I'm ready to talk. So the next part of that, because we are running out of time, I do want to go over just the next little bit of the RAP plan. And then if you have any questions after we go over everything, I will be more than happy to talk to you after class. So the next part is the crisis plan. This is what you do. You create it when you're well. Your plan will instruct others about how to take care of you for when you're not doing well. It helps you keep in control when it seems like everything is out of control. So there's 9 parts of the crisis plan. These include what you are like when you're well, signs that your supporters need to take over, supporters, medications, treatment, home, respite center, community care, treatment facilities, and help from others, and then when supporters no longer need to use this plan. And then the last part of WRAP is the post-crisis plan. It's a step-by-step plan to taking back responsibility for your life and obligations, cleaning up any messes resulting from crisis, making any needed amends, and thanking people who supported you through the crisis. It's also an opportunity to reflect on what brought you on the crisis and how you to update your WRAP, and that you want to update your WRAP to prevent another crisis. So with the WRAP, it's not something that's set in stone. You can always go in and you can change anything, you can add to it. It's just your recovery, and so whatever works for you, works for you. So like I said, if you have any questions about the WRAP, feel free to please reach out and ask. And then that covers everything for the WRAP, and I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you.